Our course, right? So welcome to Nanaska and welcome to OCS at Nanaska. So we'll be basically discussing our case study for May. Our case study for May, where we will have a session plan, guys, which we will share with you all, and also I'll take you through that plan today. And let's briefly discuss on the pre-scene, what is it about this time, and the expectations from you guys in making this a success. I mean, by success, I mean you guys need to pass the exam, right? So let me straight away get on to our subject. So I hope all of you guys are coming after operational level, either after OTQs or after the FLP program, right? Either you guys are after the FLP or the OTQs you guys have followed in the operational level. So anybody coming via exemptions, can I get a quick heads up? Anybody coming via exemptions, can I get a quick heads up? Anybody coming via exemptions to OCS directly in your SEMA pathway? Or is everybody after OTQs and FLP? Okay, you got exempted for F1. Okay, so maybe you have attempted P1 and E1 in the other case, right? Okay, so basically, guys, why I asked is, why I wanted to know is, good, right? So basically, if I talk a little bit about OCS, right? If I talk a little bit about OCS, OCS is operational case study, right? So you have 3 case studies in the SEMA syllabus structure. OCS is number 1. So this is the first ever case study you're going to face in the SEMA qualification, right? So here, if I give you if this is 100%, right? So OCS will be mostly, let me put it this way, 65% you need to know your theory. The balance 35 is from your application. 65% you need to know your theory. So why I asked you the first question is because we have quite a lot of theory in OCS. So if I break this up, you have 3 subjects for operational level: E1, F1 and P1. So you need to be familiar with all these 3 subjects. If you are not, don't worry, we have refresh theory sessions for that. We have refresh theory sessions which we will glance you through the theory. We won't teach you. We assume you guys have that knowledge, or you guys can develop that knowledge within the course of this time frame. So we'll give you a quick recap. We'll refresh your knowledge on E1, F1 and P1. We will refresh your knowledge on E1, F1 and P1, right? So don't worry, if you are not familiar with the theory, don't worry, we will be taking you guys through that, right? So what I just wanted to highlight is the weight of theory in your OCS. The weight of theory on your OCS is quite high. Therefore, you need to take this seriously when it comes to being familiar with your E1, P1 and F1. When it comes to being familiar with E1, F1 and P1. So that is number 1. That is number 1 which I need to speak about OCS. What is number 1? The context of theory versus applications. The context of theory versus application. So in that, okay, one question that most of you gets to your mind is, okay, should you do calculations? I would say no. What happens is, examiner will do the calculation for you. Your part is to interpret that in the business context, how relevant it is, how we could make use of that calculation and make business decisions. That is your recommendation. That is what you do in case studies. For you to interpret that without knowing the theory, can you interpret it? No, you can't. For you to interpret what the examiner has calculated for you, number one, you need to be familiar with the theory. Number two, you need to be familiar with the case study. Number three, that is when you can collaborate the theory and the case study and give a business decision to the examiner. Say, look here, the seasonalities of demand represents this. Therefore, we need to decide on reducing our prices where the seasonalities are poor. I mean, something like that. Something like that. Examiner will work out maybe a demand forecast and tell you, look here, interpret this for me, I can't understand. Right? Then you need to come up and say, look here, this is how it is calculated. Step by step explain. This is how the trend is derived. This is how the seasonality is derived. So that is what is expected at the exam. You won't be asked to do a trend equation. No. What you will be asked to do is, examiner will calculate it for you. You need to interpret. What does it mean? If it's variance analysis, you need not calculate variances. Examiner has already given you a reference material with variances. Your job is to interpret, okay, what is this variance? What does it mean? Why has this variance occurred? That is what you need to interpret. So you can't do that unless you know what that variance is, unless you know how you calculate that variance. So that is the importance here. That is the importance here. So is everybody clear with point number one on how you need to apply your theory, on how confident and the extent of knowledge you guys need to possess in terms of theory? Are you clear there? Any questions on that? Any questions on that, guys? Are you clear? Right? I hope you guys are clear. Any questions there? Can I get a quick heads up whether you are clear? A yes, a quick yes or a no? Right. Then going off to the next. In terms of your OCS, is your exam structure. Is your exam structure. You will have 4 sections and maybe 3 to 4 tasks per section. And you have 45 minutes per section. You have 45 minutes per section. So this is the structure of your exam. You have 4 sections. Total, it's a 3-hour paper. You have 4 sections. In each section, you have about 3 to 4 questions which you need to answer. For each section, you have about 45 minutes. You have about 45 minutes. So this is challenging. Why is it challenging? Because number one, you haven't done any written typing exam still in your CIMA qualification. This will be the first exam you do. Number two, you need to have the knowledge about the theory and the pre-zin in your fingertips, which you don't have, theory you may have, pre-zin you may not have. So at the start, this will be very challenging. This will be very challenging. Right? So take a note of this exam structure. From day one, we will be pushing on this. We will give you practice mock exams, which will be in the same format as the exam, which you need to attempt. So that you are ready by the time you face the exam. Examination. Right? So your paper has 4 sections. For each section, there will be about 3 to 4 questions. And you have 45 minutes per section. This is how your exam structure looks like. I know it will be a little bit scary at the start, but trust me, as you keep on practicing, if you complete all the mocks that we give you, it's totally nothing, right? It's a very easy game as long as you approach it properly. Right? So these are the 2 main areas I wanted to highlight about OCS. This is about OCS. Number one, the context of theory, right? So as you go along, as you move into MCS and into SCS, what happens is your application part increases and your theory part decreases. So but in OCS, remember, you have this spread, you have this context where you have about a 65% theory, 35% of the balance is about business applications. For you to apply, then again you need to know your theory plus what is there in the pre-C. What is there in the pre-C, right? So therefore E1, F1 and P1, I'm reiterating, it's critical. Those three subjects are critical, right? So if anybody who is not familiar with it, start revising it now itself. Start revising it now itself. I mean, don't wait until we do the refresh theory. That will be just a 2-hour session where we will glance through the theory. If you are not at all familiar, you won't get anything out of it. So for you to get something out of the refresh theory sessions, I want you all to start focusing on the theory from day one. So when we start answering the mocks, you guys have to be familiar with the theory. So don't wait till we start the mocks. Start the theory now itself. Start the theory from tomorrow itself. Start revising your E1, F1, P1. That's when you can answer your mock exams properly. I mean, otherwise, without knowing the theory, you attend mock exams. I mean, you are nowhere. You are nowhere. Why? You are not answering the mock exam properly because you don't have any theory knowledge. You know the pre-scene, but you don't know about the theory. How do you apply it into the pre-scene? I mean, there is no learning there. For your learning to be effective, for that learning process to be effective, right, you need to be familiar with your three subjects, the three theory subjects. You need to be familiar with the three theory subjects, E1, F1 and P1. So based on that, we will build on top of that. Mock by mock we'll take at a time. We'll take practice mock by practice mock at a time, discuss it, learn the theory areas, review our answering approaches. It will be a comprehensive review process, right? So therefore, remember these 2 points relating to your OCS, right? Okay. Next up, what do we do? Next question is, what do we do at Nanaska? What should we do? What are we doing? Of course, you will have the pre-scene issued by SEMA. It will be issued next week, if I am not mistaken. Do you have past paper? Yes, we have. We have done a past paper analysis, which you will have access to get what has been tested on the past. That's there. You will be receiving a past paper analysis document. You will get access to that in our LMS, right? So in terms of our coursework, the primary document is the pre-scene. The primary document is the pre-scene. What is a pre-scene? Pre-scene is this. I can't show you in detail because this is an advanced copy which we have received, right? So you get operational case study for May and August, pre-scene material. So we have the name of the company, which is Meals at Home, likewise, right? So that is our primary document. To buy any study, you got the pre-scene. Have you all received the student's version? Right? To buy any study material, actually no need. What do you mean by study material? Is it relating to the theory or is it relating to the case study? Anything relating to the theory or the case study? Yeah, pre-scene was released today. Yeah, correct. Study material, Fiham, are you asking, is it relating to the theory or is it relating to the case study? If it's relating to the case study, there is nothing to be bought. If it's relating to the theory, we give you the E1, F1, P1, very concise set of slides for E1, F1 and P1. If you have the prior knowledge, that would be more than enough. right? So therefore I don't think there is anything for you to buy in addition to the course, in addition to the documents we issue as part of the course, as part of the course, right? Okay, so number 2 is our pre-scene analysis or the summary of your pre-scene, which is know your pre-scene, which is know your pre-scene. So this will be a very summarized document of your pre-scene. This is what you will be following. This is what you will be following, for it will be very a summarized version of your pre-scene. A summarized version of your pre-scene. You have about 75 slides there, where the pre-scene is broken down into area by area, where you get a snapshot of the pre-scene, a very brief analysis on how the pre-scene is, right? So this is the know your pre-scene document. This is a know your pre-scene document. Once you register, you guys will get access to the document, access to the LMS, where we post all our documents, right? So this talks about the executive summary, the company strategy, the operations overview. How does our company operate? What is the business model? What is the operating model? Then it talks about the industry. Who are the competitors? Who are the relevant other players in the industry? What are the main what are the opportunities seen in the industry? What are the risks? What are the threats? Right? Then the financial analysis, the most important thing. You have a ratio analysis here, right? Then you have basically to do everything to do with numbers. You have it under financial analysis. Then we have the key issues, whatever the other issues that needs to be addressed. So this is a very basic breakup of your know your pre-scene, of your KYP document. So starts off with the executive summary, and then gives an introduction to the company. It gives an introduction to the company. So this time we have a very interesting company. What is the name of our company? Can somebody tell me? What is the name of our company that we are going to work on? Which you are going to work on? What is the name of the company? Yes, what is the name of the company? You see it on the screen. What is the name of the company? Anybody? Meals at Home, right? The name of the company is Meals at Home. Name Meals at Home, right? So it's a fairly a fairly income. I mean, it's a fairly new industry, right? It's privately owned, heavily funded by business angels and venture capitalists. So we'll see who are business angels, who are venture capitalists. So we'll look at everything when we go through the pre-scene in detail. The industry is food and beverages. We are in the food and beverages industry. What do we do? Yes, what do? We deliver meal kits to customers as a subscription based service. What is a meal kit? Any idea as to what a meal kit is? To any nutritionist, any food savvy person among 17 of you, any food savvy person who is into this cooking and stuff, any ladies who are interested in cooking and you are enthusiastic about it? Any idea of what a meal kit is? Any idea of what a meal kit is? Yes, can I have some because I'm not very familiar, right? So I also had to do a separate research to learn about this industry. So you guys might know more than me in the industrial context, right? So let's take a two-way discussion there. Ready-made ingredient pack, very good. Ingredients to help you make a meal, very good. Yeah, in very simple terms, it's a ready-made ingredient pack. It's a ready-made ingredient pack. You assemble, you deliver ingredient packs to customers who have subscribed to your service. Who have subscribed to your service. Your subscription, we'll look at it. How is the subscription? Is it divided into small, medium, and large sizes? Is it divided into multiple flavors, multiple sizes, or portions as to how many people it could serve? How your subscription differs? We'll look at those revenue structure later. We'll look at them in detail. So what is our country? We operate in Newland. Our currency is N dollars. It's a European country. It's a European country. We have 500 employees. We are a huge company. We are a huge company. Meal kits can be ordered and delivered to any part of the country. Owns its own development kitchen and production facility in addition to the head office. Healthy and nutritious recipes that are easy to prepare at home while operating sustainably. So it's a very interesting case study, to especially anybody who is enthusiast, who has this enthusiasm on cooking on on food, any food savvy people. Right? It's going to be very interesting, right? I would say it's a production plus a service. It has both elements of a product and a service. Do you agree with me? I mean, advising about health, nutrition, that's part of a service. You embedding that into your product, which product is your ingredient pack, that is a product. Then you have service on, basically advising your potential customers on health and nutrition. So I see a very it's a mixed element. It has features of mostly of a product. Of course, it's an ingredient pack, which is your product, and then also a service, delivering it, then giving advice if necessary in terms of health and nutrition when you are about to subscribe. So let's say the customer doesn't know which plan to subscribe. Is it to the small, medium, large, or is it to the health, whatever packages options available? An element of advising comes there, which is a service. So it's very interesting. It has got the composition of a product and a service, right? So the KYP gives you a very brief introduction. It's a very brief snapshot of the pre-seed. So develops many different recipes which it intends to sell meal kits for. It has a range of recipes, multiple recipes. Selected few of these are displayed on their weekly product lists for customers to select for purchase. So maybe it's like a product catalog where you list down your recipes, list down your products, your ingredient packs. Then the customers look at them and select which one they want. Some ingredients are maintained in storage at the company warehouse, while others are procured as necessary closer to order delivery. So we are stocking raw materials as well as when there is a requirement, we order. We have a JIT element also, right? Once selected, Meals at Home procures the necessary ingredients, packs them in a box along with preparation instructions, and delivers it to the customers, right? So then giving preparation instructions, delivering, all come as a part of a service. That's why I told you we have a very it's a mixed element of an offering where you have both the constituents, both the characteristics of a product and a service, right? Focuses on healthy meals of various dietary preferences like vegetarian or meat. Then again, we have a focus on health. Of course, you might have health advisors, nutritionists working for you in that context, right? So it's going to be very interesting. So I'm just giving you a snapshot. So what is a meal kit? Box which contains ingredients for cooking a meal along with a recipe for that particular meal. It gives you a recipe. These and these is what is included. Then it has the ingredients of that recipe. Then it gives you a instruction card as to how you prepare that meal. I mean, it's a very comprehensive package, I would say. So where does it, whom do you see as the target? We have not gone there still. Before we go there, just wanted to ask a question from you. Whom do you think is the target market for this product? or service. Whom do you think is the target market for this product or service? Product and service. Let's talk about it as the product. Whom do you think the target market is? Can I see some answers from you guys? Can I see some answers from you guys? Working, the maybe the middle-aged workers who are where the husband and the wife both are working, right? Then yeah, it could be students who are on a hostel, who are on a boarding place, right? It could be overseas workers again who are boarded or who are having temporary shelters. What else? People, food lovers, of course, food enthusiasts who are desperate to try different recipes, right? Then it could be the people in the maybe the living in the city, right? People living in the city, the mostly highly urbanized group of residents. Maybe they are living in apartments, so they don't bother about buying raw ingredients. They just order a meal kit and then they cook it for that meal. That's done, something like that, right? So it could be, I mean, the target market is diverse. So we have a target market for that, right? So you need to know, okay, what is the product, who is the customer we are targeting. Based on that, we need to plan our marketing activities, right? We need to push our product through the respective distribution channels so our target market is reached, so we can tap into our target market. So likewise, it's going to be, we are going to look at multiple dimensions, what is included in the pre-scene in a nutshell, right? In the KYP, in the know your pre-scene, right? So we can go on and on discussing this. So we'll start that from Sunday onwards, right? So today I'm just giving you a brief snapshot on as to how it looks like, right? So why should the target market select a meal kit? The pros and the cons, right? Then you have the company's organization and structure. We have a production director, sales and marketing director, finance director. Your position is also highlighted here. You report to the finance manager. You are a finance officer in the company, right? So we need to know, okay, what are your roles and responsibilities, right? What are your roles and responsibilities? We need to be clear on that. Then the staff, the breakdown of the staff of 507, 88% is in the production, our production employees who are in the meal kit preparing facilities. Only 62 people we have at head office. Could be in marketing, sales, finance, HR, IT. Those breakdown is 62 employees, right? So this is the staff breakdown. Then you can see the management, their experience and how long they have been. Then the key financials, profit margins. We are making a loss for the year, right? Yeah, this is the case for May and August, right? Then you have the financials, then you have the company strategy, what the company strategy is. So everything is briefed in your KYP, in your know your pricing, right? Factors affecting demand for meal kits, factors, the possible growth strategies, how can we grow from where we are to where we intend to grow, what are our growth options, right? Then we apply that into the Ansoff matrix and see, okay, what is our product development strategy, where we can capitalize. Then our market development strategy, how we can capitalize the penetrations and the diversification strategies, right? So likewise, guys, our KYP is comprehensive. It's a very brief nutshell, gives you a very good comprehensive understanding on the pre-scene. So that is the objective and that is the purpose of the KYP. So I just gave you a walkthrough on how the KYP looks like and what we will be doing using the KYP, right? So any questions on the KYP and what we discussed, guys? Are we clear? Any questions on the KYP and what we discussed? Are we clear? Can I get a quick yes or a no? Can I get a quick yes or a no? Great. Others? Super. So the next is, guys, KYI. What is KYI? Know your industry. So just as how we looked at the KYP, KYI is a snapshot on the KYI is a snapshot on the industry. What industry? The food and beverages industry. Relating to the meal kits, relating to what? Relating to our organization, the food and beverage industry. It gives you examples of other competitors. Who are your main competitors, direct competitors? How can you overcome competitors? How can you develop alternative strategies to combat competition? Right? Things like that. So KYI is again a comprehensive document on the industry. So one thing to highlight, KYI is not something which you need to study. KYI is something you need to know, just to add that icing on the cake. When you answer the questions at the exam, towards the end, you can bring in some industry points and say, look here, tell the exam, okay, this is how it is being practiced in the industry, so why not we do this? It need not be 100% accurate. Your examiner is not going to verify it, right? So, I want that to be developed from mock number 1 itself, where we bring in industry insights into our answers. This is something very difficult for students. Based on the past experience, for them to get used to this industry thing, it takes about 3, 4, sometimes 5 mocks, and towards the end only they realize how to bring in the industry related stuff into your answer. But I wanted for you all to think about it from day one itself. Right? So just give it a thought. How can 1 or 2 lines? How can you bring in any related industry related stuff? For you to bring in that, you need to know about the industry. You need to know some technical jargon about the industry. You need to know some competitors, actual names of competitors operating in the industry. Take a look at their social media sites. Take a look at their websites. Take a look at their e-commerce platforms if they have. Download their app. Use it for some time. Get to understand about the user experience. Understand about how it integrates with the social media to the website. Right? No, you experience that. Then only when the examiner asks, you can suggest, you can recommend, look here, this company is doing this, why not we do this? Why don't we initiate a separate e-commerce platform in addition to our mobile app, where we could integrate our entire operation, where the customers can log in either through the phone or the laptop or the tab, whatever, right? They get to experience, they get to order whatever the product and service they want at a click of a button. So that's how you study about your competition. You study about your industry. Not only just reading the KYI I give you. You experience that. Go to the websites. I will have a list of competitors in the KYI. So you visit those websites, visit the social media sites. Look at the promotions they are doing. Why can't we do that in our meals at home? Likewise. So every session I give you to do a benchmark. You compare yourself, where you stand, where your competitor stands. Where you stand, where your competitor stands. So is your competitor above or below you? If the competitor is above you, what can you do better to bridge that gap? What is the competitor doing better than you, which you are not doing? So you can propose that to the examiner. Say, look here, we are lacking here. Why don't we do this so that we reach at this level? X company, who is in the same industry as us, has implemented it for the past 2 years, and they have reached a customer acquisition rate of 50%. So that's how you bring in the points of the industry, of your competitors into your answer, to put the icing on the cake, to polish things up, to make your answer comprehensive, which will definitely be a point of attraction for the examiner. At OCS, it's very few where people come up with industry examples. So I want your answer to be differentiated, for your answer to be unique in that context. How do you make it unique? How do you differentiate your answer from the others? Through the industry related stuff. It could be facts, it could be statistics, it could be scenarios, it could be business cases, whatever. Try to see how you could add that into your answer. So that is the expectation from the KYL, from the know your industry. Then we do practice mocks, which are very similar to your exam. Mock number 1 we will discuss. From mock number 2 to mock number 6, you will get access to our exam engine where you will have to type it, and we have a backend team who is reviewing your answers, giving you a feedback. So once you do mock number 2, you will get a feedback for mock number 2. You will get the marks. After that, you will have a one-to-one session with our backend team. I will also be part of that group where you get to learn where you need to correct yourself, where you need to improve, what else should you do in addition to what you have done to make your answer better. So you will have a one-to-one discussion also after you get the marks on your answer. So that is how the practice mocks works. You will do the mock, send it to us for marking. We will mark it and send it to you. After that, there will be a one-to-one session for that respective mock, where you will learn where you have gone wrong. You can clarify whatever the doubts you have, right? So it has to be a continuous learning process. You take 50 marks for mock 2. For mock 3, it has to be 60. Mock 4, it has to be 65, 70, 80, 85. It has to be a continuous improvement exercise, guys. How can you make it a continuous improvement exercise? If you do the mocks effectively. By doing it effectively, what do I mean? You need to be familiar, confident with your refresh theory, E1, F1 and P1. You will also get 3 separate documents, one for E1, one for F1, one for P1, which is all about the refresh theory. And we'll have 3 or 4 sessions also to give you a quick glance, to take you through a quick glance on the refresh theory aspects, right? Then we have something called deep dive. This is the in-depth case analysis. So I will be doing a verbal discussion on the pre-scene with you guys. That will be put into a written form and given to you as a document as a deep dive. So I won't be discussing the deep dive. I will be we'll be verbally discussing starting from Sunday. I will start from page 1 of the pre-scene and we will go up until the last page. We will analyze the pre-scene. We will look at the scenarios. We will look at what are the possible questions. So you need to have a pen and paper ready to scribble on your pre-scene. Take down whatever the possibilities. Take down the options. Take down the discussion points. So end of the pre-scene analysis, which is the first 2 weeks, your pre-scene has to be you will have to have scribbled it everywhere, because we'll be doing an in-depth analysis on the case study starting from Sunday, right? Then you have something called a power mock. Then you have something called a financial mock. So financial mock is totally on F1. Power mock will be from main areas of E1, P1 and F1. Financial mock will be mainly from F1. So you can see the weight given to theory is a little bit high. Why is that? Because of that 65-35 proportion I showed you at the start of the session. Right? Then also you will get, I don't have space, sorry, I'll write it here. You will get a possible issues document. Possible issues. What are the possibilities of testing at the exam? What are the possible scenarios that the examiner could come up at the exam? So we will give a separate document for that as well, named possible issues, right? So guys, and finally we have the past paper analysis. Right? So you can see this is the lot of work we need to do in the coming 6 to 7 weeks. Right? This is what we need to do in the coming 6 to 7 weeks. So I gave you a snapshot on the KYP, the know your pre-scene. So the rest of the documents will also be similar, right? Covering the overview of the pre-scene, in-depth analysis, the refresh theory areas, power mocks, financial mocks, possible issues, and also a past paper analysis. So this is the entire content that we will be discussing in this session over the course of the next 6 to 7 weeks. Over the course of the next 6 to 7 weeks. Right? Right. Any question, any clarification in this context? Okay, before I go to the class time, any question and any clarification on the context of what we do? Anything which you are not clear there, so that I can answer and clear it out with you? Can everybody give me a feedback? If you are clear, tell me yes. If not, tell me if there is any clarification. Let me know so that I could clarify it to you. Yes. Can I get a quick feedback from all of you? Is everybody clear on the plan, on what we are going to do, on what our work plan is going to be for the next 6 to 7 weeks? Any questions? What about the others? Deep dive is an in-depth case study analysis. I told you from Sunday I'm starting a case study analysis, right? That means I will be taking the case study page by page, will be going. So here we'll be looking at your role. So here I'll be analyzing, okay, what is your role? What are the activities you need to do? So you need to take them down, right? What are the theory areas relevant in this context? What are the other practical issues that we need to be discussed? So that I will be discussing with you on a verbal context in this class, in the live class. So the same thing will be available to you in a written documented form, which is deep dive. I hope I made it clear. Right? Good. So when it comes to the timings, our usual session, our normal session will be on Sunday. Our normal session will be on Sunday, that is 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. 8:30 sometimes till 9. Right? So here, how many Sundays do we have starting from the 27th? We have 27th, 3rd, 10th, 17th, 24th, 1st and the 8th. Your exams are from the 11th to 13th May. Exams are from the 11th to 13th May. Right? So how many Sundays do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? So here and there could be a few changes, with these power crisis we are in, so there could be here and there could be a few swaps. So don't worry about it, that those will be informed in advance. So if not, we have these 7 Sundays. In addition, from this week starting 17th April, if I'm not mistaken, we will have, a weekday session as well, in addition. Right? A weekday session, which will be mostly from 8 or 8:30 to 10:30 p.m. So there will be additional sessions on these 4 weeks on weekdays, either 1 or 2, maximum 2 per weekday, right? Per week, right? So Sunday session will anyway have. Sometimes we even can do a Saturday if there is time, if everybody is agreeing. So Sunday we'll have a normal schedule. Then any changes, if there are any possibilities, whether if you guys are also okay with Saturday also, we'll, upon discussion, where everybody is available, let's agree on dates and arrange the additional session. So don't worry, these weekday sessions are just kept tentative. So based on everybody's feedback and availability, we can adjust, agree on a date where everybody is there. So don't worry about the dates. Don't worry about the date. So it will be informed in advance. So for each session, you will get a fresh link, right? For each session, you will get a fresh click meeting link, so you can log into the class from that. So any changes to this to planned schedules, you will be informed in advance. So if there are any swaps, so any unavoidable issues, those will be informed in advance to you. So this is how our timings will work. Is everybody okay with it? Is everybody okay with the timings? Is it clear on what the plan looks like? Right? Okay, great. So now I have been talking for about a good 50 minutes. So I'll give you some time, and maybe 2-3 minutes. You can ask me any question. What are the clarifications you all have with regards to the case study? Any clarification you all have with regards to our coursework, right? Or any clarification, with regards to the case study or our coursework, or anything else which you need to clarify? What are the questions you all have? You will get access once you register. So you will get access once you register. It takes maybe a maximum of 1 to 2 weeks. So within that time period, you guys will get access to LMS. 35% I spoke to you is about the application. Is about application, right? Maybe exam might ask you to come up with a strategy because our sales are dropping. What is the strategy that you need to propose? So that is not part of theory. That is part of application. So maybe then you look at, okay, in terms of matrix, we saw product development. What else can we do to increase revenue? So that's how you apply that ends of theory, matrix theory, and you come up with a business application and tell the examiner, propose the examiner a strategy where we could increase revenue. So that is about part of business application, right? I hope I made that clear. So 65% on the theory, 35%, 30 to 35% on that application area, on the realistic part. I mean, since end of the day, you're working in a business, right? So it has to be business related, business concepts which you have to implement. So those things are part of the 30 to 35% that will be tested in your exam. Right? Clear? Good. Anything? Okay. Others? Any questions? So we are pretty much done. So I'll give you about 2-3 minutes just to walk through what we have discussed, and let me know. Our next class, will be starting classes on Sunday, which is the 27th, right? So our first class will be on the 27th. So we'll be starting there with the pre-scene analysis. We'll be starting on the 27th with the pre-scene analysis, right? Others, any questions, clarifications you all may have, you can ask now. So it's going to be a very interesting case study this time, right? It's about meals at home, meal kit production company in that sense, where it works as part of a subscription service. As I told you, it has a service element also in addition to the product element of the pack of ingredients. Then we get to learn about the process of how that is prepared, then what to expect, the constituents in our meal kit packaging, then the management team, the organization structure, then the finance structure where you are part of, what will be your roles and responsibilities, and then company operations, the operational overview, how it works, the pricing, how the production is made, how the sourcing is done, purchasing, logistics part of it. Then the production process, how it works, how it is produced, the steps followed, the packaging. Then we have the industry statistics, data, and the information on how this food and beverage meal kit related industry works, the competitors, the market structures, and all of that. And then we have our financials. No, it's not mandatory. As per my as per my knowledge, it's not mandatory. But better you check with the SEMA division as well, or from one of our admins, right? Who is overlooking FLP. If you could double check with them also, that would be great. In my understanding, it's not mandatory. So better you get that clarified with one of our admins at Nanaska. And yes, session recordings will be available, Gayant. Yes. You will get access. I mean, once you get access to the LMS, everything is uploaded. Session recordings to the documents, to the mocks, mock answers, model papers, past paper analysis, possible issues, everything is uploaded to the LMS. Right? Yeah. So that is basically a quick glimpse, a quick glance through our pre-scene. The OCS, what is it all about, the expectation, then what we do, right, the overview of the course, and basically the structure of the timings and the session plan, right? Will the power cut be an effect for the exam date? So I recommend all of you to do the exam in the exam center, right? Don't take the risk of doing it at home. These days, I mean, you never know, the power might go off even in unplanned times. So therefore, please don't take a risk. I always recommend to do it at the exam center, because anything happens there, they are responsible. But if anything happens at home, there have been multiple complaints where sometimes, most of the cases, students is at a disadvantage. So don't take that risk. So everybody book your exams at the exam center, right? So be very careful about that. So more than the examination date, it will have an impact on our live sessions. That's my concern. So that's why I told you those dates will go off here and there when there is a power issue, right? Sometimes I might not have power, you might have power. Sometimes you might have power, I might not have power. So we need to discuss and get that sorted as we keep on running. So we will have a WhatsApp group. So everything, all the information, I will also be part of it. I will be posting on that WhatsApp group. Any changes, any revisions to whatever, right? So we'll have a WhatsApp group. Upon registration, you will be added to that WhatsApp group. So we will be continuing the communication. We will be continuing the communication in the WhatsApp group. After registration, we still haven't created the group for you guys. So you will be added soon if you have registered yourself with Nanaska. Yeah. So Eugene, from which part of the are you joining with us? Just to keep the timelines in track. Ghana, good. So what is the time gap there? I assume you guys are ahead of us, or are you behind of us? Okay. Okay. So basically you are behind us, right? Great. So anyway, on the schedules, I will be updating in advance, so you can adjust. And if you have any issue, let me know. I mean, if we can't come at a compromise, don't worry. The sessions will be entirely recorded, so you can have a overview on that, go through that. And if you have any concerns in the session which you watch where you don't understand, you are always free to contact me or ask any question on the WhatsApp group. So keep the WhatsApp group alive. You guys have to bring points for discussion, right? You guys have to bring points. I mean, last time we had a fantastic WhatsApp group. There were a lot of questions, lot of queries, lot of discussion points being brought forward by students. So I want that interaction, that active participation from everybody, where we keep that group alive, right? Otherwise it's going to be a boring. You guys have to come up with your suggestions, your business ideas, and I also come up with mine. So we both mix it up, right? And our discussion has to be very productive and effective, right? So that's then you gain out of it, and I'm also able to give my best. So that interaction is very important. So we'll maintain that throughout our course, right? Okay, guys, so that's pretty much what I wanted to cover today. Give you a very brief insight and how it works, the course, the timings, to what OCS is all about, and give you a glimpse of the case study. So if you have any other concerns, please don't worry. Just drop me a WhatsApp message. My WhatsApp number, I have put it on the chat box. Right? So you guys, upon registration, you can contact our Nanaska admin for registrations. You guys will be added to a WhatsApp group and we'll continue the communication from there. Right? So can I get a final heads up? Are we good? Is everyone clear with the plan? Is everyone clear with what we discussed? Can I get a final heads up before we wind up? Yes, guys. What about the others? Everybody, a quick final heads up before we wind up. Are we all on the same page? Are we clear on what we discussed? Good, good. Right. So, guys, if there's anything in terms of registration, don't worry. Talk to our admin guys. We have a backend team who will help you out with that. Any issue, just drop me a WhatsApp. Right. And I'll see you in class on Sunday. So thank you very much for joining today, for taking out your time and joining today's session. I hope you got something out of it, something at least out of it, right? So it's going to be an interesting, 6 to 7 weeks, a very active 6 to 7 weeks, a very busy 6 to 7 weeks. So as we'll work together, you need to cooperate, right? We need to have that interaction and that participation and that continuous improvement we see week on week, right? So therefore, let's keep that momentum going and let's go through a fantastic 6 to 7 weeks, so that end of the day you get the best out of it and your objective is accomplished, which is you pass the exam, right? So with that note, thanks for joining. Take care, good night, and stay safe. See you on Sunday. Thank you very much. Yes, you're welcome.